today, we're gonna win. We're gonna fight.
There's a football coach, and then there's the football coach at Notre Dame, because nobody does it like Notre Dame.
Inside Notre Dame Football with Brian Kelly is brought to you by Team Notre Dame members Adidas, Gatorade, McDonald's, Coca-Cola, Sprint, and Xerox. Inside Notre Dame Football is also sponsored by Bank of America, CBTS, Xfinity from Comcast, Mazda, Meyer, Notre Dame Federal Credit Union, Sirius XM Satellite Radio, and UPS.
The weight training, the conditioning, the time that you put in the summer, you beat them at the end. You beat them physically. You beat them. You ran the ball late against them. You stopped them on the goal line.
Good job.
And that takes a physical commitment that you guys have made. So make no mistake about it. You overcame adversity. You found a way to win. You exhibited all the things a championship team does. And then you put in the damn time and effort to make this happen. This didn't happen by chance. It didn't. You put in all the work to get to this point.
Notre Dame head coach Brian Kelly congratulating his team after their dramatic overtime victory over Stanford Saturday at Notre Dame Stadium. Hello again, Irish fans, and welcome to this week's edition of Inside Notre Dame Football with Brian Kelly. I'm Jack Nolan. The Fighting Irish faced more adversity against Stanford than in any other game so far this season. In fact, in the second quarter, Stanford became the first team to take a lead on the Irish this season and led 10-3 at halftime. Here's what Coach Kelly had to say to his team during the halftime break.
Everybody in this room, it's gut check time. It was going to happen. Did you think it was not going to happen at some time? It was going to happen sometime during the year. Well, it's happening right now. Okay? It's happening now. What kind of football team are we? We'll find out. You got 30 minutes to find out what we're about. 30 minutes. You knew that this was going to happen. You knew there was going to be a time during the season where you were going to have to come back and win the game in the second half. We're at that time. We're at that time.
Watching sports on Xfinity from Comcast is like having a front row seat to the biggest moments. With NFL Red Zone, ESPN Goal Line, and the Watch ESPN app, you're right there for all the action. This is the Xfinity Sports Experience. This is awesome. You won't get all this with satellite. Sign up for Xfinity TV and internet. Just $79.99 a month for 6 months with the sports entertainment package included for 3 months. Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Call 1-800-XFINITY today.
Well, I have been quietly standing in the shade all of my days, and I've been trying to find
unlimited phone, unlimited data, unlimited life. The Galaxy S3 Unlimited Edition with truly unlimited data from Sprint.
Your first move doesn't happen on the field. It happens before your opponent even sees you. It can leave you hanging, steal your spark. Your first move can jeopardize everything you've worked for. Or fuel it. Your first move can set up your success before you've even played the game.
Carb energy to fuel athletes. Gatorade Prime, part of the G Series.
So I'm really gonna need your company. Did I just change that site for you? Window or aisle?
Right.
Yes, sir? Excuse me. Can I help you?
Yeah, is this
the restroom? Oh, it's right behind you. If you just turn right there.
Virgin America knows it's better for Xerox to manage their call centers, so they can focus on making flying cool again. With Xerox, you're ready for real business.
when your chain of supply goes from here to Shanghai, that's logistics. Ships from here, boards from there, track it all through the air, that's logistics. Clearing customs like that, hurry up, no time flat, that's logistics. All new technology UPS brings to me, that's logistics.
The Notre Dame defense has already forced 15 turnovers through 6 games this season, one more than the Irish D forced all of last season. Against Stanford, the Irish defense came up with 2 key first-quarter interceptions. The second set up Notre Dame's first score, while the first by Bennett Jackson at the ND1 probably took some cardinal points off the board.
You know, Bennett was challenged this week to step his game up. He's been playing well. We think he can give us more. And it was nice to see him in a very good position. He was very disciplined, and he put himself in a position to succeed.
Last year, Matthias Farley was a receiver. Now he is a key starter for you, and he came up with a huge play.
Great interception again, and really put us in a good position to score points. And Matthias, I'm proud of him as well. Here's a young man that, as you mentioned, moved over from offense to defense, and then with the loss of Jamore Slaughter, has stepped in there and has contributed at high levels.
And on Farley's interception, Lewis Nix played a big role.
He sure did. I mean, Lewis Nix plays a big role in a lot of things. He's a big guy, but his pressure, I think, was probably the best that he's levied in the pass rush this year.
Everett Golson is now halfway through basically his freshman year at quarterback. Had some bumps yesterday. How do you think he responded?
I was proud of the way he responded. His last 4 plays could have been his best 4 plays that he's had since he's been here. In particular, the option play where he did a great job of getting us some field position back. He was pressured and threw a ball out to the perimeter that T.J. Jones made a great catch coming back to it, but he had somebody in his face. He stayed in the pocket and had a presence there. Yeah, he had some rough spots, there's no question. But he didn't respond to those rough spots the right way against Michigan. He responded to those rough spots very well against Stanford.
And let's talk about the touchdown pass to Eifert.
In terms of what we ask him to do, and that is when Eifert's in the route, throw it to Greengrass and put great height on the ball. Because even if it's double coverage, which it was, he's going to go up and get it. But it doesn't happen unless Everett does a great job of putting the ball where it needed to be.
Everett was playing very well when he gets knocked out. Normally, that's a tough situation in a game like that, quarterback switch, and you just talk about again the way Tommy and his team handled that.
He's an amazing kid that he can come off cold, and didn't even warm up, went in there and did what he did. I don't know, there can't be a more valuable quarterback in the country at the number 2 position that can come in and do the things that he does.
Kyle Brinza was not your starting place kicker at the beginning of the year. He has now kicked a game winner and a kick that tied a critical game and allowed you to win.
He was put in a position and he has not blinked. When you have that kind of production from that position, good things will happen.
Not blinking under pressure is something the entire Notre Dame team has done this season, especially the defense, which has given up 3 touchdowns in 2012, a stat that leads the nation. I talked with Coach Kelly about why the Irish defense has been so good this year.
We're stronger, we're more physical. There's clearly 11 players all bought in on the philosophy of how we run the defense, and Coach Diaco and his staff have done a great job. This has been a gradual process. They haven't given up a rushing touchdown since last year. So it's not all of a sudden that they've become a great defense. They've been working towards this.
Hey, cool, I won. Oh, Monopoly is so awesome. 1 in 4 are winners. It's tough to beat those odds.
I can. I ordered a leprechaun to help me win.
Okay, but you do know the odds are still 1 in 4.
Yo,
right?
who ordered the leprechaun?
It's a giant.
No one ordered a leprechaun? That's weird.
It's the 20th edition of Monopoly at McDonald's, and 1 in 4 wins. With over 135 million winning game pieces, it's the most prizes ever. The simple joy of winning.
Only Mazda is so obsessed with the future of driving that it's revolutionizing everything. SkyActiv technology makes vehicles stronger with 2 top safety picks and more fuel efficient, like the 40 mpg Highway Mazda 3 and the 2013 Mazda CX-5. No compromises. We build Mazdas. What do you drive? The Mazda 3 is now available with attractive lease and finance offers, but only for a limited time.
At Meijer, you'll find fresh foods at refreshingly low prices, which means Janet here doesn't have to employ the usual produce selection techniques. She doesn't do the thump, the squeeze, or the sniff. Nope, Janet has her own way of selecting her fruits and veggies, the grab and go. Because no one offers more farm fresh foods delivered daily at low Meijer prices. Experience the savings, experience the difference. Meijer.
Notre Dame's first snap in Saturday's overtime did not go well, but things quickly got better for the Irish after that.
You know, obviously you don't want to take a sack in that situation, but we got beat around the edge. We had a matchup there that was not favorable for us, and they come up with a big play. But we knew that with Tommy in there that we could do a little bit more in the passing game, and we could get some matchups that we thought were going to be favorable.
And you got back into field goal range on the very next play.
Tommy put a little air to it, and Daniels did a great job of keeping his feet in bounds and got us those yards back before the big catch by Theo.
How much of a role did experience play on the Theo play?
Once we see the one-on-one matchup, because it's an easy one to picture, you got somebody coming out of the backfield, you know immediately because we're clearing Eifert. We've continuously worked on put some air to the ball and make sure you throw it away from the defender. If you do those two things, Theo Reddick is going to find the ball. It still was a great catch, though, by Theo.
Talk about the pass to T.J. Jones.
You know, it was a man-to-man situation. We checked the protection. Tommy threw the ball down and low, but it was just too far inside, and T.J. made an incredible catch. We still don't know how he did it because it's a quick slant where you're coming down inside, and it was thrown to his back shoulder, and he had to do a 180 almost to get back to it.
Stanford gets the ball, then they're under pressure. They saw you got 7. They've got to get 7, and you blow up the first play.
You know, it gets you that momentum in overtime, and I think it kicked the crowd in. I mean, it got so loud. It was pretty amazing in that stadium.
But they get back to first and goal at the 4. They get 4 shots.
Yeah, I mean, again, we were in a base defense on the first play, 1st and 4, and then we went into our heavy after that, our jumbo package, if you will, or our goal line defense as they went to their goal line offense.
And 2 shots from the 1.
You know, first one, there was no question. We just stood him up, and there was nothing to be gained there. Manti came in and, you know, I thought just filled the gap, you know, and stood the back up. It was clearly that we stopped his progress. And 4th down, again, the officials came in, spotted the ball. There wasn't enough to overturn it. I don't get very emotional. You know, I get excited. That goal line stand was emotional. I mean, you could feel the emotion just rise to a different level when you stop a team like Stanford. And to stop them on 4 shots, it's got to rank up there as one of the most emotional and satisfying stops that I've been around.
There is your final score once again as the Irish break a 3-game losing streak to the Cardinal. Your final stats provided by UND.com show us the Irish won every major statistical category but 1, turnovers, which marks the first time this year the Irish have not won or tied the turnover battle. Because he plays nose guard, Louis Nix's stats are not always as gaudy as those of some of his defensive teammates, but as you are about to see on this week's UND.com Inside Angle, Heisman Trophy candidate Manti Te'o recognized the contributions of Irish chocolate after Saturday's game.
Hey, Lou, they can't block you. You're the best nose guard in the whole country. 6'6".
Goes to show you the desire and passion and will that the defense has, you know, especially backed up like that, and to go out and stop them like that is, you know, speaks volumes.
You know, big time situations, you know, big time players step up, and you know, we have a lot of big time players on our defense, and they stepped up big tonight.
Saturday's goal line stand will go down as one of the great moments in the storied history of Notre Dame football. And it's a moment that is a product of the love and respect these players have for each other.
I think our team fights for each other every play. It's not just we want to stop the ball. We want to keep fighting for each other, because I know Manti's going 100% on this play. I know Tua's going 100%, so I should do the same.
You know, that's what championship teams are made out of. You know, you put the ball down and we're going to play. And, you know, we went up against a good team, a good physical team, and I'm proud of the way our guys, you know, stuck together. It came down to the wire, and that's what's so good about college football.
Many Irish fans give Manti Te'o much of the credit for the dominant performance of the Notre Dame defense this season, but both publicly and, as you were about to see, privately, Manti gives much of that credit to his position coach, defensive coordinator Bob Diaco.
We love seeing you at Bank of America.
But we know you want to be able to bank wherever you are.
Bank of America mobile banking lets you bank on your schedule.
Now you can securely deposit checks you get right away with your smartphone camera. Watch this.
It doesn't get more convenient than that. See? Success.
It's amazing. Check balances, pay bills,
and much, much more.
Right here. Bank on your schedule and deposit checks on the go. Download the Bank of America mobile banking app today.
I need to get back to work.
3, 2, 1.
It's hard to call it radio when it's this out of the box.
Listen to that. Man, you know just what to say.
You might be a redneck.
Fox News alert on several dramatic new developments.
Frank Sinatra.
You're a delightful audience. Let's go to Margaritaville, to the 10, to the 5, touchdown.
This is satellite radio. Welcome to Sirius XM.
Another key play in Saturday's win over Stanford was Stephon Tuitt's block of a Stanford field goal attempt in the second quarter. This week's 125 Years of Notre Dame Football moment focuses on another blocked field goal against Michigan in 1979 that owns a special place in Notre Dame football lore.
Notre Dame is number 1. Notre Dame with a miracle win as the clock runs in. Notre Dame has scored.
My whole life, and I'm sure kids do this still. You wonder what it is that you're going to do if you're placed in a position where you got to take care of a last-second field goal for the opponent to win the game.
B.J. Dickey will hold. Notre Dame with a 2-point lead. 6 seconds on that clock.
Kurt Becker, who was one of the Michigan guards, he leans over to the center, who was, I believe it was Turgovac, if I'm not mistaken. He looks at him, he says, "You keep your down. We'll take care of everything over the top." And at that point, I thought, well, here we go. If the center's going to stay down, then, my solution became, going over the top.
Brian Virgil, his heart is pumping right now. It's up. It's blocked. It's blocked. And Notre Dame, they still show 1 second on that clock.
Literally, when the ball was snapped, I came up, I stepped on the center because he was staying down, stepped on the center, and as the guards took care of things over the top, it kind of lifted me up a little bit. The worst part about that play, in all honesty, was that landing. Going up was great. The ball hit me. I could have done backflips at the time, and I came to the realization that, oh crap, I got to land. And I landed right on my head. And honest to goodness, lucky that I really didn't seriously hurt myself. The adrenaline was so strong at that point. You run off the field and life is great. But it was certainly, became a special moment in my life.
The final score at Michigan Stadium, Notre Dame 12 and Michigan 10.
As a matter of fact, Gene Smith, who was a special teams coach at the time, after that play, we started to practice it where I was literally going on, not jumping on their center, jumping on one of our linemen to go up over top for extra points, for things like, and I just didn't have the heart to tell him, I'm not going to break my neck for an extra point. I'll break my neck for an extra, for a game-winning field goal. But, after watching it over and over, you see the landing and you think, holy smokes. I really could have hurt myself.
Crable went on to earn consensus All-America honors at linebacker in 1980 and 81, and the year after his big block against Michigan, the NCAA instituted a rule prohibiting a player from placing his hand or hands on a teammate to get leverage while attempting to block a kick. For more 125 years of Notre Dame football moments, just go to UND.com and click on the 125 Years logo. Now, earlier you heard Manti Te'o saying no one can block Irish nose guard Louis Nix. Now let's find out if we can stump Louis with our questions on this week's 60-second drill. First car you ever drove?
My mom's van.
Favorite TV show?
Degrassi.
Do you have a celebrity crush?
No.
Favorite ice cream flavor?
Strawberry ice cream.
Favorite breakfast meal?
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Favorite snack food?
Maybe bagels.
Assistant coach who's most like Coach Kelly?
Most like Coach Kelly? Coach Diago.
Hardest hitter on the team?
Jamar Slaughter.
Toughest player to tackle on the team?
Theo Riddick.
Best singer on the team?
Me.
Best dancer on the team?
Me.
Best comedian on the team?
Me.
Best dresser on the team?
Me.
Worst dresser on the team?
Tyler Stockman.
Best thing about playing for Notre Dame?
Tradition, the people. My mom loves it.
Lewis Nix, you have just completed the 60-second drill on Inside Notre Dame Football. Thank you.
When your chain of supply goes from here to Shanghai, that's logistics. Chips from here, boards from there, track it all through the air, that's logistics. Clearing customs like that, hurry up, no time flat, that's logistics. All new technology UPS brings to me, that's logistics.
I definitely feel like there's a family feeling.
They all know my name.
You're working with somebody who has your best interest at heart.
Pretty much like a brother and sister would take care of their siblings.
You go down to the same branch, you see the same people, you get to know people.
They're just more human.
People are looking to take care of you and not just use you.
I don't know that a bank would have gone to bat for us.
I'm one of their first customers ever, and I'm one of the happiest.
I'm a member.
Notre Dame Federal Credit Union. Come home.
I feel very safe with Notre Dame Federal Credit Union.
It's time now for this week's Ask Coach Kelly question presented by CBTS. This week's question comes from Ron Vickers of Liberty Center, Ohio. Ron writes, Coach, congratulations on an impressive start to the season. What areas on your team do you feel need the most improvement at this time?
Number one would be passing game. Number two would be ball security. And number three, I think, would be continued pressure of the quarterback. You know, I think those three areas will probably stand out. I think in the special teams, you know, just a little bit more consistency, you know, and in particular, punting the football. If we do that, we'll be in good shape.
Another offensive challenge for the Irish this week as they will take on a BYU team that ranks 3rd in the country in rushing defense, 5th in total defense, and 7th in scoring defense.
They look like Stanford. I mean, they are physical on defense. They will hit you. They play with great spirit, great emotion. You know, the quarterback position is one where they have got two quarterbacks. They make it difficult for you. They can throw for 400 yards, or they could rush the football. So it's an interesting blend that they have on the offensive side of the ball that causes some concern.
Of course, BYU has to be concerned about coming to Notre Dame Stadium to take on an Irish team ranked 5th this week in the BCS, AP, and coaches polls. We, of course, will have all the highlights and coaches' analysis of the BYU game on the next edition of Inside Notre Dame Football. Until then, thanks for watching, and as always, go Irish. Inside Notre Dame Football with Brian Kelly has been brought to you by Team Notre Dame members Adidas, Gatorade, McDonald's, Coca-Cola, Sprint, and Xerox. Inside Notre Dame Football is also sponsored by Bank of America, CBTS, Xfinity from Comcast, Mazda, Meyer, Notre Dame Federal Credit Union, Sirius XM Satellite Radio, and UPS.